Okay. Hello, friends, family, people of the world, seekers, philosophers, warriors, whoever you are. Thank you for being here, for tuning into the Book of Shadows. I have a pretty deep message, pretty deep dive today, deep esoteric dive, because I ended my last video, which was about healing generational wounds and trauma, with the mention of something that I called the dragon. You know, I was saying it's important for younger generations to let wisdom guide and to steer our ship, the wisdom of nature. And part of the reason there's so much wounding and so much trauma handed down from previous generations is because these previous generations were not guided by this wisdom of nature and the power of healing. You know, I said they were guided by the dragon. And I want to explain this further and how this kind of connects into a deeper spiritual mystery. Because the dragon has been depicted, revered, feared, and honored throughout human history by various ancient cultures and traditions. And it is an embodiment of a powerful primordial energy. And these ancient cultures were very wise to revere, fear, and honor the dragon because they knew about the real power and potential destructiveness of this force and energy that I'm talking about. Because this energy, this primordial fire, which the dragon came to represent, it is seated at the base of the spine, in the root chakra. And many of us today are experiencing a profound disconnect from our root chakra. So in that way, we may be missing the keys to the kingdom, you know, the keys to our own experience and our own power. But the ancients knew that they were seated on this great mountain of creative power and potential. So a fire-breathing, flying lizard came into being. And they were saying that this kind of being actually belongs to the earth, you know, the same way we do. And there's a real danger to this being. I mean, it can literally kill you. It's breathing fire. It's ferocious. You know, no one can stand against it. And truly, no one can. I mean, there are creative energies and powers that move through the earth, through our roots, that no one can stand against. I mean, try to tell the wind to stop blowing. Try to tell the waves to stop coming. You can't. So real knowledge and real wisdom is a very powerful thing. And learning how this all works, you know, how this energy, how to work with this kind of energy rather than against it, you know, it's a powerful lesson. Because I'm talking about a dragon, because I'm talking about the root chakra, I'm talking about material consciousness. I'm talking about something that is based, dense, heavy. You know, these primordial earth energies are heavy, like lead. It not only connects us to the earth, but it connects us to Saturn. Saturn is associated with lead. It is associated with time. It's also associated with death. So we're talking about something that has real power. You know, Saturn would also end up becoming Satan, another lizard-like being associated with fire, said to reside in hell beneath the earth. So this is all inner earth stuff. And what I should really mention before the dragon is the serpent. Because this is the stage before the dragon even gets its wings. And this is the stage that humanity is still in. You know, it's where unenlightened consciousness dwells, where much root chakra energy still dwells. And the lack of movement or the stagnation that we see in today's world means that, you know, this consciousness, it's going nowhere. It's being devoured by time. You know, it's why Saturn became the Time Lord and why he's depicted with a scythe, because it's cutting and it's dividing. You know, without bringing our being into a state of unity and love, harmony, we end up being cut and divided against ourselves. And this happens at the root. Consciousness becomes constricted by the serpent. And that's the dark side of this whole thing. That if we get too heavy, if we get too dense, if we get stuck, we literally begin to be consumed. We start to disappear. We can disappear. And this dark aspect of the consciousness is not to be feared to the point of paralysis. You know, because the darkness is a gateway towards wisdom. You know, the cosmic serpent is the gateway towards connection with ancient wisdom and ancient culture. They've preserved their wisdom in it, and it can lead us upwards. Meaning that in engagement with the wisdom of these earth energies that are moving through the consciousness can bring us to a greater stage of awareness and self-realization. But we see how these energies that I'm talking about have been demonized in our Western culture. I mean, we've been made to fear the serpent. And the serpent, as we have said, eventually gains its wings and becomes a dragon. The serpent marries a phoenix to become the dragon. And that's where we come in. You know, we are the light that gives breath to the fire of this whole thing. And if we're alchemists, then we take the heaviness, the density, the stagnation, and we lighten it. We transform ourselves with that innate alchemical fire that we all have. The phoenix is the alchemical fire, designed to raise base consciousness of matter, which is us, into a higher spiritual potential. And the fire of this alchemical process is what really requires a lot of attention and cultivation. Because the fire is dangerous when control is lost, when it's not properly cultivated by the wisdom of the serpent, by the wisdom of the primordial earth energies. This alchemical process I'm describing has already occurred on this planet so many times. You know, the fire of the phoenix was awoken. Now, here's where they got this whole thing wrong, though. Because we're told that the dragon must be slain. And this is the distortion that was brought about by Western medieval patriarchal domination. It's actually a motif that's as old as civilization itself. It's actually the same motif I talked about in my video about Tiamat and Marduk. I mean, this goes all the way back to ancient Mesopotamia, and Western tradition, in our overly mechanistic way of thinking, has brought death to these mysterious and powerful primordial energies. The energies of the dragon. But when the dragon is slain, the fire is gone. There's no more power. There's no more light. And this is the trouble we find ourselves in, spiritually. This is the trouble with the dragon, and the trouble with previous generations, because they've ridden the dragon. They've become scales and musical notes on the back of this great cosmic being. They've given their power to this cosmic force, but it's a cosmic force that doesn't generate any light because it's been slain. We've been riding a dead dragon for centuries because we've forgotten how to actually light up the alchemical fire that really activates and changes us. There is a fire that can really heal you and bring you upward rather than just burning you up, which is what happens when you get too heavy. And things have gotten really heavy here on this planet. It's getting really hot. But the real fire that we need is a spiritual one. So it goes beyond physical consciousness, because that's the kind of light that can really get this thing to start flying again. It's an energy that, if properly cultivated, can illuminate the consciousness and to get us soaring freely through the realms, which are the chakras, which are the different energies that compose our life and create our bodies in the world around us. And we move through these realms continuously. So in order to avoid getting stuck in the lower realms, some may call it the nether world, the underworld, hell, where all this heavy, dense consciousness resides. Even though it does form a foundation or a basement, if you will, for our consciousness. But we want to transcend and to experience higher levels of light and vibration. So in order to do this, a fire is needed. And the fire is the passion, the desire, the drive. But if these things aren't geared for an upward climb, and instead are only leading you back into the denser material consciousness, then you haven't fully activated. Now, most of humanity is not activated. We are in cycles that pull our energy downward. And we've been made to desire things that aren't even good for us. And our passion has become a dangerous and a destructive force. The mechanisms that are operating this consciousness in the modern world are inherently backwards. So we have to learn how to cultivate this upward mobility for ourselves. And this is why awakening, it is a gradual process. The fire, this kundalini, it's way too powerful to just switch it on right away. So you have to learn how to be gentle with yourself, because that's the way of nature. Gentle, wise, patient, slow. And we live in a world where we want instant gratification all the time. But that's not how the spiritual world works. Slowly but steady, the flame begins to burn. But I mean, it is worth the climb. You know, hiking up a mountain is hard, and you may stumble, twist your ankle, fight off a bear on your way up. But when you do reach the summit, you know, when you see that view, when you can stand at the pinnacle of your own consciousness and reach that state of all-knowing, all-seeing, and really look at the beauty that's before us, I mean, how could that not be worth it? You know, this is, you know, it is deep level stuff, so we have to dive deep, all the way to the core of this whole reality, to see how it is all a construct, and that we are the ones making it, so we can be the ones changing it. But we have to know our roots first. You know, we have to be grounded first. So it begins here on earth, because there's still wisdom here. You know, our ancestors are still with us, guiding us. It's just a question of whether we're listening. So with that, I want to thank you for listening, and I hope that you found this message, you know, inspirational and eye-opening in some way. Yeah, I mean, we have work to do because there's been a great setback because of, you know, because of the ignorance and the misuse of this consciousness by previous generations. And I don't like indicting people so much, but I mean, you know, there's no denying that we've sort of been screwed over. But there is a way to reclaim the power that was taken. That's what this video was all about. And so I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and we will be back soon. So thank you.